Right, I haven't said this in a while. Right, we are back at Surbiton Raceway for the Surbiton Sprint. Yes, it has been a while since I've been back at Surbiton, but the sprint is back for round 2. So, we've got a video to make. So, after round 1, I'm not even going to go into round 1 because, well, you guys know what happened.
Yo! What the f***?
Yeah, that wasn't exactly my proudest moment at Surbiton. But you know what? For round 2, let's hope it's any better. It is a dry race today as well, which should shake things up more. And we've got Steve back. If you guys don't know who Steve is, he is basically the legend of Surbiton. He's the one that wins everything. Well, he hasn't been recently because he hasn't been turning up to the track. But never mind, he's still somehow going to win the whole thing. Well, we just all know it. As soon as I saw him walk through the door, I was like, oh god, this is going to go well. So, let's get into the first heat and let's see how this race is going to plan out.
If I see one teardrop come out your eye today, you're banned for life.
Okay, deal. Oi! Shake on it, man. Shake on it. Genuinely, shake on it.
Also guys, if you haven't noticed, we have actually got a new fleet of karts, as you can tell from the new stickering. We decided to replace the fleet after some complaints with the customers. So, this is going to be a good test to see if the new fleet is actually any good. The green flag is waved and let's get some racing done. Now, I'm already thinking, should we swing it round the outside of Calvin? I am going to try to, but it's not going to work. But I am definitely trying to get a move done on Calvin in the next coming corners, because I know I have a slightly faster kart than him, and I have slightly more experience, as it's showing because he's slipping almost everywhere. I go for the switchback. I'm thinking let's go down the inside, but I also need to remember there is a wet patch in the middle, which means going down that outside, no, the inside I mean, is not going to be the best option for some situations. Calvin is kind of holding me up here because he's actually braking going into that S corner, which is really screwing me over, and it's very clear to me that Kart 8 is actually not the fastest kart, and I'm struggling to go through the S at full speed. I think it is mainly because of tyre temperature, but I'm not going to say anything just yet. A few laps later, I've got Steve behind me. He manages to get next to me and he's able to get that move down the inside just before the straight. And now I am third place. I can see him making this signal to work together, but I already know he is going to get me as soon as he has the chance to, because he has more experience in the dry than me, because I have been used to wet conditions at the moment, so I knew I would be somewhat bad in dry conditions tonight. So, we've actually got more drivers behind us that we have to worry about. There's this driver called Tom that is very light when it comes to weight, and he is going to be a real pain in the arse, because even though he has horrible karts, he is still going to be quick, mainly because of his weight. So, that is going to be very fun. A few more laps into this race, and we can see Tom is very slowly catching up to us. Not only because of his weight, but only because he is actually in kart 1, which I know already just from these coming laps is rapid down that back straight. Just not as rapid through the corners. So that is one thing to keep an eye out for when we do future heats. But there is one thing that I am taking advantage of. The wet patch in the middle means no one can go down the inside. Here though, Tom actually goes down the outside, tries an outside move. It's not going to work because you lose all sorts of grip going around the outside of that S. Anyway, that wet patch in the middle, I try to take advantage of it and try take that inside line until the puddle, because knowing the drivers today, they are not going to try go over that wet patch to try go down the inside. Here we go, Tom is trying another move. I switch back so I don't go over the puddle, take that middle line, and I'm able to get through the S comfortably. Nothing really happened for the last few laps of the first heat, so as we pass the line, the checker flag has been waved, and that is the end of heat 1. Now, we already know the fleet is actually feeling alright considering it's new. So, let's try see if we can get a decent kart for the next one, because I think I just got unlucky with kart 8. The green flag is waved and let's get racing. Already, Carlos is complaining about missing the flag, and I get 2 overtakes done. I'm about to get a third one as I dive down Sid's inside, going into the S, and we managed to get that overtake done. Now, I'm already thinking, let's try get a move done on Vivek in the next coming laps, because I know already that I am a lot quicker than Vivek, and getting down that inside, well, it's Vivek. He is quite a difficult person to overtake because he knows how to defend properly. Already he's covering that inside really well, but it does mean he does go over that wet patch. It doesn't affect him as much as I think it would, but it still affects him still quite a bit. But that doesn't stop me from trying to get this overtake done. So going through these corners, already thinking, should we get a move done down the straight again, because I think I could try get a better exit than him and get down that inside. I almost get that inside, but he shuts the door before I have any chance to try commit to that line. We are now being held up by Calvin, and I am starting to get a bit frustrated and bumping Vivek a lot. Because I just want to get past him, and I know Steve is right behind me. So I am trying to get that move done. Already I've gone wide, Steve has that inside line, and he is able to overtake me going down the straight, which has really irritated me. But it also means now I can actually use Steve to overtake the other drivers, which is what I'm going to do, because Steve is going to be slowed down by Vivek trying to make a move on Calvin, and then I'm able to catch up during that process, also because of the speed advantage I have over the other drivers and in general those two. So going through these corners now, I'm already thinking we're going to dive it down the inside with Steve and Vivek. I'm able to make that move, and we're able to get down the inside of Calvin and make that move into third place. Now, me and Steve need to work together and try get past Vivek pretty quickly. I know Steve is more experienced than me at this track, so he'll know where to overtake Vivek, and there he is. He's able to overtake Vivek. I follow him, and we get that move done. In the process, I am able to get down this inside, and I don't want to go into the wet patch because I know it will affect me. I do try commit to that inside, but it just doesn't work, and I do give Steve quite a few bumps. I think I do apologise when he looks back here. No, I don't. I think I will have at some point in the race, but now it is all about tailgating Steve and see if he makes any mistakes. I am going to try go over the inside here, but he's going to defend it pretty well, and he also knows that wet patch is going to be deadly. I send it down the inside anyway. I commit to it. A bit of contact, but we don't mind that, and we are able to get that move into first place. I do apologise because it was a bit of a dive, but it was fine, and it wasn't really dirty. So, going through these corners now, I am going to defend for my life now as well, because I know Steve is going to go for that inside when he has the chance. Going through here, I take that inside line. I know I can make it if I flick the steering wheel in. I am able to make it and still keep a decent amount of speed. I am taking quite a bit of curb though, which is slowing me down, which I never figured out during the race because I thought it was actually really quick. Now, going onto the straight here, Steve has that inside line. He's able to get the nose in, and he gets that move down the inside just before the straight. He has that inside line. I have the outside. I'm not going to try do a switch back or try overtake him around the outside, because the last time I tried an outside move going into the S, it didn't exactly go well. Now, For the rest of the race, this is how it's going to go. It's going to be me tailgating Steve, and I actually end up getting a pretty quick lap time from it. I got a 24.401 from this, which actually wasn't that bad. But yeah, that was really it for the rest of this heat. It was just me stuck behind Steve. After about 5 or 6 laps of tailgating Steve essentially, or just staying behind him, the checker flag goes out, and that is the end of heat 2. As we are going to the pits, me and Steve do have quite a awkward handshake. Jesus Christ. And yeah, let's go back to the pits and then get ready for heat 3. Well, after the first 2 heats, it was both a show and also actually pretty good. Heat 1 was kind of just a reminder of what it was like to drive in the dry again, because of how used I was to driving in the wet conditions, as you can see. But Heat 2, when I got given Kart 11, I absolutely balled out with it, and I was able to even keep up with Steve in Kart 14, which was my lucky number, but also the kart I knew isn't exactly the quickest at the moment. So I will happily take that. So going into Heat 3, let's hope we can try claim our first place at Surbiton Raceway for 2026. The green flag has waved, and let's go racing. All of us look like we need a because of how much hopping we are doing in the karts. I clearly have a horrible kart, and it shows, because as soon as I start, everyone just gaps me immediately. Luckily, no one else is able to overtake me apart from Sid. And that's because he's in the quick kart this time, but also because he's light as Anyway, going into these corners, they are being backed up by Tom here in front, which is a good thing because that means I can catch up to him, and then I can possibly make some moves going into some of the corners. Through here, I get an amazing exit going through there, and we are able to catch up pretty quickly to these guys. I'm thinking, should I try get an overtake on Sid quite soon? Because I actually think I've got the pace over Sid, even though I have not only a weight disadvantage, but I think the kart I have at the moment is not the best. Anyway, going through the corners, Sid and Steve have managed to get past Tom, but now I have to fight Tom, which is not going to be that hard. The only thing is, he's a bit like Sid, he's light as so that's going to be quite an issue. Going through the corners here, we're going to try catch up to Tom, but you're going to notice down the straight that Tom clearly has the kart parity on his side, and he is a lot lighter, and he's just completely gapped me. Going through the corners though, he doesn't take the corner that well, and I've catch up to him already, which I was very happy about. Now going into the white tyre and going through the flowing corners, we do catch up to him. We try to get a switchback done, try to go for that inside. It's just too much bumping though, and we are not able to make that move going into the straight. You can see him gapping us again, taking that middle line for some reason. I don't know why. It is not the grip levels to have that type of grip that night. I take a normal line. I do have it a bit scruffy, but I still somewhat catch up to him. Let's go to a point where I'm able to get that overtake done. Only a lap later is when we found one opportunity to actually overtake Tom. Through here, we try to get that inside line. We tried to find it, but I just could not find it and also get that pace in. And I've also lost a lot of time from doing that as well, which is really inconvenient. But Tom is messing up his lines. Through here, we try to go for the switchback. We are side by side going down the straight, but he has that kart parity and the weight difference, which means he is able to just breeze past us like it's no issue. Going through here, I'm trying again for that inside move, but it's just not working. Going through the sequence of corners here, he is very shaky through these corners. I'm keeping it a lot smoother. I'm thinking, let's go for the switchback again. I'm able to get that inside line. I've just not stuck the nose in, and I know I have not got the pace for it. So we've got to try again next lap. Going through here, he is very mucky through the corners. Already thinking, let's try switch to the inside. It isn't going to work this time, but we're going to try next lap again, because I know I am definitely on pace with this guy and even faster possibly. Just from the cornering through here, we try get that inside line. We do again, but we're still quite far back and he has that pace advantage to us. So I can't really do much about it. Through here though, he does have to break through the corner. I do give him a slight tap going through VS, but I don't mind that. Going through white tyre now. We are going to do the same move once again through here. We are a lot cleaner than this guy. He goes for the defensive line. We go for that we try to go for that inside line, but he shuts it off. I'm saying brake check under my helmet because I have a feeling it was actually a brake check going through the corners now. Because I was talking to myself and trying to shout to the marshals even though they clearly can't hear me, I take that tight line and then completely screw up my lines going through the S. But that doesn't mean I don't catch up to Tom again because he has got very, very rough lines. I do try catch a slipstream this time to see if that does help. And it actually does quite a bit. I'm thinking let's dive it down the inside. Nope, he brake checks me properly that time and I get right next to him. Bit of bumping going through out of the S. But we are still neck and neck. Going through here, he tries to get the better exit. But I'm going to keep the nose in going into the line and going up the banked corner, and we're able to get the position. Might have been a bit dirty, I will admit, but it could have been hard racing at the same time. Sometimes you just can't tell. Anyway, going through VS, we are going on quite a defensive line when it comes to defending against Tom, because I know his kart is a lot quicker and he is going to have the advantage, especially on those straights. All I need to do is just try gap Tom, and then we'll be able to create that gap so I don't have to worry about him. But he gets an amazing switchback and that kart parity is just ridiculous and he's able to soar past me. Going through here though, he mucks up the S again. I go a bit wider, grab that inside line. I do shove him a bit, but that doesn't matter. We are neck and neck going through here. He tries to shut the door going into the corner here, but I end up just shoving him out the way and getting that move done. I know that was a bit dirty, but trying to shut the door when we are clearly side by side, that is just completely not on. I do actually get a penalty for that. Not like a proper time penalty, just a warning. As you'll see as we pass the marshal board, because you'll see my manager flashing the no bumping sign at me in the next coming laps. Anyway, I think that is all the action that we have for the third heat. So let's go to the checker flag and let's go into heat 4. All that's going to really happen is Tom just going around the outside and trying to overtake me around the outside, trying to take advantage of that speed difference. Finally, after about 5 or 6 laps or so, we are going through the white tyre and the checker flag is being waved. And that is the end of heat 3.
That is somewhat slightly different.
The green flag is waved and let's go racing already. I jumped Steve off the line, I jumped Tom off the line, and I jumped Carlos off the line as well. And I'm able to make all of those overtakes and get into third place. And now I have got Sid and Vivek ahead of me. I have got a really good start from where I started in Heat 4, and now I've got to really take advantage of it. Vivek is making mistakes going through the corners. As he slides through the corner, already here, he's going on straight onto the defensive line because he knows how I drive. He knows I will take an opportunity when I take it. Going through here, I do think about going for that switchback, but it just doesn't work and I lose too much speed. Already I'm thinking, let's try get a dive down the inside in the S, because I think I have the speed advantage this time, and it's going to show as we go down the straight. I get that slipstream, I have so much speed, he goes to the outside, I send it down the inside, bit of contact. I felt like it was a fair move, and I think it was. We'll have that conversation at the end of the race with Vivek, but for now I think it was clean, and let's carry on and try catch up to Sid. I doubt I will, because either way he is going to be rapid around this track, so there's not much I can really do. I just need to try see if I can defend at least against Steve. That is my main priority. Now going through the corners here, we are trying to keep it really tidy, just so I can get those clean lap times, and I'm able to try at least create a gap to Vivek and Steve. After a couple laps, I've actually come to the realization that my talent might actually exist tonight, because going through the corners, I am noticing I am somewhat catching up to Sid. And even though Vivek is actually right behind me, I give him the signal to say, let's work together and let's go get Sid. I don't trust Vivek though at this moment of time after that dive bomb, so I do go for that middle line just in case he does try anything to see if I am caught lacking. Going through the corners now, I am trying to take them as smooth as possible, trying to catch up to Sid as much as possible with all of the speed that I'm trying to get through the corners. And also, I am also dealing with a fogged up visor, because I don't know why, even in dry conditions, my clear visor is not really liking the conditions. Now, going through the corners again, we are trying to keep it very smooth and trying to keep creating that gap to Vivek in a way, and also trying to close the gap on Sid. Sadly, for the last few laps of the race, it just stayed like this, and I ended up claiming second place for Heat 4, which I will happily accept. And going through the final corners, we see the checker flag, and that is the end of Heat 4. Now, let's figure out where we are actually going to be starting for the grand final.
Whew. I saw that tiny gap and I thought, I've done it before, I thought it would work, but no, that was just too much bumping.
Like, yeah, if I didn't lift off, we would have both been in the barriers.
Yeah, I do apologise for that. Well, at least I can just put that on Insta and say, talentless driver does questionable move.
Well, after Heat 3 and 4, that actually wasn't too bad. Heat 3, I was able to get a decent result of 3rd place. And then Heat 4, I managed to get 2nd place, which is actually pretty good. Both Sid being in front of me, which was kind of expected to be honest. But yeah, apart from that, pretty good. We are starting 4th for the grand final, so it is not a bad thing. Hopefully I'll be able to gain some positions at the start, and I hope I get a decent cut as well.
Steve has won! No! No, 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 no! No!
Hey! Who's coming?
What?
You got kart 4?
No, 14.
Oh, 14. There we go. That's bad.
No, kart 14's my lucky number.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Not tonight.
No, but Steve's got 1. I'm screwed!
Oh,
yeah, you see what I mean? I'm screwed now!
Just so you guys have a little bit of context, Kart 1 is the quickest kart of tonight, and all of us have been begging to have it. And the fact that Steve has it, of all people, well, that just means he's won. The green flag is waved, and let's get racing now. Starting in 3rd place, we get a decent enough start, and we are able to slot behind Calvin and make sure Sid does not overtake us at the start of the race. I'm already thinking, should we try get Calvin in the first couple of corners? I doubt I will, because clearly from the kart parity here, it shows kart 14 is not the best in my hands at the moment. Even though it is a quick kart, I think because of my weight, it's just slowing me down, which is a slight issue. Now through here, we do make up a bit of ground on Calvin, because he makes a bit of a mistake, but he's just going to pull away again because he clearly has the better kart with Steve. And yeah, going through these corners now, I am thinking I could actually get a move done down the inside if I'm able to catch Calvin's slipstream, but I am not able to. I do have to go on the defensive line again to try to defend against Sid, and we are right back to square one essentially. It's going to stay like this for quite a while. I've got to try defend against Sid and try keep my 3rd place as much as I can. It didn't stay like that for a while though, because going through these corners here, Sid gets an amazing switchback. He's got my inside going into these corners, going into the S, and he's able to grab 3rd place for me. I do try swinging it around the outside, but it just doesn't work. I am going to try catch up to him, but it's not going to be any use because he has got the faster kart and he has got some big advantages compared to me, so there's not much I can really do apart from sit like a duck and just take 4th place like a bitch. What I will do is actually explain what I'm doing wrong on this circuit, which I am trying to improve on later in the dry races. Going through here, I take this just fine. Going for the S through here, but I take too much curb and that causes me to hop and lose all of my speed. Same here, I take all the curb and I lose too much speed and I take that barrier way too closely and it's just not the best. Going through here, I take that perfectly. We don't need to use curb going into the summer and yeah, it's actually good. Through here, I go too wide considering it is the summer, and going through here, we take too much curb again. In front, we do actually have Carlos now, and sadly, Carlos has had quite an unfortunate race. He did want to record this for his YouTube. Carlos normally does the endurance races. He's got a few videos out. He did a 3-hour Daytona Sandown endurance race, and he also did the Race of Champions, so he is definitely experienced. Just today, the weight has sadly slowed him down, and it's going to show because going through here, I'm just going to go for a move down the inside. He does let me pass, luckily. I do give him the thumbs up just to say thank you, and I try to see if he can follow me and see if it is just his racing line that is causing him to be slow and not just his weight. Sorry, Carlos, but it is very true on a track like Surbiton. Weight is such a big difference when it comes to Surbiton Raceway. Hopefully that will be a change quite soon. After the most boring 20 laps of my life, we cross the line to the checker flag, and that is the end of the grand final, and I finished 4th place. Not too bad, I will take that any day of the week. But there's only one way to describe this race, and it was the most boring race I've ever done. No offense to Surbiton, there was no battles really. I was hoping for a lot of battles during the final, but sadly not today. Well, after all of that, I'll be honest, the grand final was quite disappointing, but the heats were full of action. This is what I love about the Surbiton Sprint. Sometimes the grand finals can be a bit dead. I'm going to admit that right now. But the heats are what make it interesting, because you have short 8-minute heats where everyone battles so closely. And it is absolutely amazing. I love it. And I'm never going to stop going to these Surbiton sprints. Even when I'm short on cash, I still go to these sprint races because they're just so much fun. Anyway, for the next video, we are going to be going back to Team Sport Dunstable after a very, very long time. The last time I went was back in October when I was practicing for BIKC Regionals, and I thought it's time to make a return. See you guys in the next video.